Welcome to episode 26 of the Bikini Besties podcast. I'm Lo.
Kaylia.
Stephanie.
And today our topic is chasing that pro card. But before we dive into our topic, like always, we'll give our quick little life and prep updates. I don't think we have anything big today. So,
No.
yeah.
No.
Yeah, what you got, Steph?
Literally nothing different from last week.
Same.
I'm sorry.
Any plan
getting
changes?
I'm getting to the part where I'm just executing the plan week after week. Plan changes. Oh, I guess I have a wedding coming up this week, and so this one is not that bad because I'm gone from Thursday to Sunday. And so Thursday, I'm just going to get up early. It's going to suck, but I'm going to get my cardio done before I get on the plane. But then I'm really good at sleeping in strange areas.
A superpower.
Ask Cody.
Cody has pictures.
On the way to
Cody
our
has pictures.
Card, yeah, the worst place I think I've ever slept is in the check-in area of an airport. So I was literally sitting there. People are like, and I'm just like,
out.
Totally out. I think I slept for 2 hours and I was out.
Wow.
Yeah. So anyway, I can sleep on a plane easily. So I usually will just kind of persevere through being tired and whatever, and then get on there and then I'm out. So the only thing that sucks about that is I do not drink enough water.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. I don't drink enough water when I'm on the plane.
At least you're not headed to a show. So it's not like you're as worried about your water intake level. You know, you can at least do some makeup or chug a bunch in your cardio beforehand.
Yeah, exactly. So so that's 4 days. The one that I am nervous about is September 24th. I'm going to Italy. So I was talking to the girls a little bit about what to pack, because for some reason it just did not dawn on me that it wouldn't be like this 4-day, 3-day kind of travel that I've always done. It's actually
like a show weekend. It wasn't.
It's like 10 days, and I'm like, hold on a second.
You're like, I'm actually gone.
What am I gonna eat? How am I going to pack this? And so you guys had great ideas about just freezing a ton of protein. I don't think I'll do any vegetables. I don't think I'll pack any vegetables or anything, but I realize I probably most likely will be eating a lot of eggs because it's the easiest. And then I can get those boiled eggs, those preserved hard-boiled eggs. Mm-hmm. So that I have something as a backup, because I'm just nervous about the food going kind of bad, or even tasting slightly bad, because I'm picky like that. And if I smell anything, it's going in the trash. I can't.
And you don't want to be sick in Italy.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's just you're eating and you're like, is it who wants to be wondering if it no.
But I did remind you that you're going to civilization. There are grocery stores and people do live there.
I know. I'm just nervous of getting there and then being surprised and being like, oh, they don't do it like this like in America. And then I'm like,
you can't.
They put their eggs in the fridge.
No.
Really?
No, in Europe, well, even in the U.S. is number one at over refrigerating and over preserving everything. Yeah. Even growing up, we had chickens at home, and you put your eggs in a basket. They go in a basket on the counter.
Same with milk.
Yeah, in Europe, a lot of milk. Milk is the one weird one to me. I don't understand how that works, but I did buy it when I lived in Spain. I would buy milk on the shelf. It wasn't in the fridge. It was weird.
I just realized that every time I've traveled to Europe, I think I've been there,
I don't know how that works,
3-4 times, but it's always been hotel, holidays.
Yeah.
Where we're going out to eat. I've never really
grocery shopped.
Yeah, I've never actually grocery shopped.
Paid attention to how they eat.
Yeah, and I don't know. Well, I might just message the bride and be like, so can you just send me some photos of
the grocery store I'm going to?
Can you just go in and just show me what's there?
Be a tour,
right?
Go on Google Maps and zoom in and be like, which grocery stores
is around me, and So
please vlog your experience at a grocery store.
Oh
yes,
we want a video for us.
Being can I don't know.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting. But it's almost like I'm warning my coach. It's kind of funny. Every check-in I'm like, so remember, Italy's coming because people might disagree with me, but I will not be the bridesmaid that's like, hey, you guys, I know we want to go do this event, but I have to go to the gym. No, I will not do that. The thing that I'm not going to do is upset the group. I'm going to try to be as agreeable as possible. If there's a gym that's close and I can get up early and everybody else is sleeping, that's more my style. I am not really the shit disturber.
Yeah. And it's you don't want to call, almost have the attention be on you because you're choosing a different lifestyle. It's kind of we're going to do all our own thing. I'm going to do some of my stuff on the side when I have time.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be present for this event.
Exactly. If it was a girls' trip, that would be totally different because then I'm like, okay, no, you guys, I have to do this, blah, blah. But like, she only gets married once.
Yeah,
like, I'm not
it's a
going
whole
to be
family
like,
thing.
you know,
Yeah.
so nah, yeah.
Yeah, and you guys have been pushing early to get you to like a conditioning level in advance so that you're not like going to be behind when you get back.
Exactly. And I also reminded him, like, I am also not married to this show. I'm like, this is just a show. There's another show 2 weeks later. I am still telling myself in my mind that I'm getting ready for that show just for my own like perseverance and my own, you know,
your
motivation and fire and blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, if I get back on October 4th and I'm like, whoa, then maybe not, because that push to me, it just might not be, you know, the best for my body and that kind of thing. And yeah, so I'll let him assess. So I'm just gonna do my best. Literally,
do your best.
Those 10 days will be my best.
Yes.
So
what you're willing to give to the sport.
Exactly.
In
exactly.
that.
So
And
there's boundaries.
the amount of balance and
yeah.
I think you're going to do well, better than you think, because one, you've got a lot of experience, and two, you're pre-planning so much of this in your head already. You've thought it through, you know. So and you have a lot bigger why and like, you know, like your competitive level than maybe you did if you had done this trip 2 years ago.
Yes.
So
that's true.
Your desire to like do something or make some like an appropriate food swap or like maybe get that extra walk is like a different level.
Yeah.
You know?
No, absolutely. I think I'll check all the boxes. I'm hoping what I might do, depending on how the first like 2-3 days go, is check in almost every day. Just to kind of keep, and I obviously with Shane, I'm like, you don't have to look at this, you don't have to reply. For just my accountability, I will just be sending this to you. You could open it and then just
ignore me.
I don't care.
Well, putting on your bikini and your heels.
Exactly.
That's motivation for me sometimes. Like if I know I have a check-in in the morning, I'm like, yep, definitely not going to take that extra bite because I am not messing up tomorrow's pictures.
Exactly. So I'm like, I'm going to try and do little things to just not listen to the demon.
Keep you going.
You got this.
Right? Yes, exactly. But what about you, Kaylia?
Yeah, what's your update?
No, I don't have. We're week 15 into the improvement season. We're just still just I have no changes to my plan. It's really boring right now.
Except you had 2.
Oh, you're right. I guess.
Yeah,
you're right.
This is big because you've talked so much about it.
This past week I had 2 untracked dinners. They're just salads and like no dressing. I get the salads, no dressing. I use my own dressing. And then I had like a couple bites of like crumble and like, so just like my little thing that I do with bites.
Okay, which crumble cookie? Like
guys,
some of us are like deprived. Okay,
the crumble cookies, the cookies this week, meh. The pumpkin square.
That was a good one.
You guys,
that's what I've been hearing.
This isn't like the Del Taco thing.
Damn
it is the best thing Crumble has ever made.
Shit,
I've been hearing really good things about it.
It's I love pumpkin. I know. I didn't think. I literally was like, Stephanie, it's probably. I literally looked at it. I was like, it's probably not that good.
No, it was.
If it's this good and so many people are raving about it, it'll be back.
It'll be back.
Like, they need this as a regular. Like.
Yes.
It should be like a regular for like the fall or
something. Is it like a pie?
Yes, a regular for a what?
Is it like a pie? What is it?
It's
like a cake.
It's like a cake pie cheesecake. It is like
Oh, okay, you just made me want it more than I did.
It might have been the hardest moment of my life to not go back for a second bite.
Like
it might have been.
I'm gonna
my mouth's watering.
I can't believe it
right now.
Oh, I hate you.
It's really good. It's really good. It's so good. The icing was perfect. The like moisture and the density of. Oh my god, it was. Just,
I could kick you off this podcast right
now.
Good.
Some of us are deep in prep here.
We just started the Oreos. The pumpkin pie Oreos just came out. You know the ones
I did see those
year?
at the store.
They were okay, but
I feel like whenever Oreos come out with a flavor, it's always okay.
Yeah,
it's
I wish they made it double stuffed. Like that's the thing; it's so
of
thin.
the flavor.
I hate it.
Yeah,
yes,
you're right.
Right, if
you're
they
right.
made it double stuffed, I would
you could taste more of the
game.
flavor,
right?
not just the cookies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm
right.
like, what? is single.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
I
make
do
your own.
that. Except not 2 cookies. I do usually 3 or 4. Come on.
She's like, it's quadruple stuff.
Yeah, and then I give like the ones that I like took the icing off. I give those to Zach.
You get my discards.
There's a boring, yeah, the
I
naked
just- here you go.
cookie.
It has just a little smear of the.
The funny
Yeah.
thing is, for my creamies and my improvement season, I was using the thins.
Mm.
Well, because the thing is, the point wasn't to have the flavor. I was just the plain thins,
Yeah.
not a flavored one. So I didn't need like the flavor. What I wanted was just a little bit of the broken up cookie
Yeah.
That's
in the
different.
ice cream. So it's more of a
Yeah.
cookies and cream
Yeah.
blizzard flavor.
Like
Yeah.
the texture, it adds the texture and flavor.
Yeah,
to
a little
it.
bit
Yeah.
of cookie in it.
Yeah.
So that's why I did that one. Plus,
We
calories.
should, when we're off, we should all get just like a little thing of Oreos and just see how each of us eats it. Because I think that it's
Ooh,
gonna
that
be
would be fun.
hilarious
Do that.
because
Yes.
Mine is definitely weird.
See, I have a thing about like minis. Mini everything, I think it's kind of
So cute.
yes.
No, they're awesome.
They're cute,
Yeah,
but
they're
it's like
cute.
an illusion because if you gave me a pack of Oreos and a mini pack of Oreos, I'm 100% eating the minis faster than the larger ones.
But
That's the same with soda cans. If I buy mini sodas, like their mini Alanis,
yeah.
I drink them way faster and way more often.
Okay, but the
That's
mini
fair.
though, the cookie, like the mini Oreos. Let's think of this, because at least for me, if I get a Oreos, I want to snack and munch.
Mhm.
The minis, it's like I'm tricking my brain that I'm having more than I really am. I can eat more minis for the same serving, for the same calorie amount
Calories.
than just like 2 or 3 Oreos. I can
That's
eat like
fair.
8 minis,
Yeah.
and so it's like 8 times of going in my mouth.
See, my brain goes,
Mhm.
oh, I didn't eat as many. They're not. It's not as like big
Bad.
as the old.
Yeah,
other ones. So
yeah,
I'm
you're doing like
I can have
size.
way more. And
Yeah.
I end up just eating the whole thing.
And then it actually ends up being about the same. For me, the
But if
minis
it's a-
suck because there's not enough icing. It's just like a little like
A little like,
Well, there's
yeah,
different-
like I
there's
don't
a
like
little.
the cookie.
There's minis and there's thins. Those are very, very different because the minis are still have the thicker Oreos. 'Cause
Yeah.
Like the snack pack
Yeah.
minis.
Yeah.
But the thins have a lot less frosting.
Yeah, yeah,
So it's just
yeah,
a-
yeah.
We're getting in this crazy
Yeah.
Oreo
I'm a
debate.
frosting. I'm a frosting girl.
Yeah, I
for
like the
sure.
frosting.
Frosting's good.
Yeah.
Everybody loves this stuff.
Yeah. I don't know how we got here.
Yeah.
No
That's
idea.
Kaylia's
Crumble pumpkin square.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
If that comes out again, run and get it.
Get it.
Yeah, that's good. But anyways, yeah. So I haven't checked my weight or anything though, because I am dealing with some still insane hip pain
Oh,
and
yeah.
like
Really?
low back pain and abdominal pain, and I don't know what's
Did you
going
see
on.
the
No,
physical?
I haven't
No,
done
no.
anything.
Okay.
I've tried like baths and stretching, and I actually this morning rolled out my psoas muscle,
Mhm.
and that actually made it feel better for a while. So I
Wow.
think my
So
psoas muscle is super tight, which is
Mhm.
causing, which when that's really tight, it causes all the hip, low back, upper glute pain.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And like it's
it
just
does.
this big wrap of pain. And so when I did work on that this morning, it released it a bit and it
Mhm.
felt better. So I think I just need to keep doing that.
Mhm.
Also though, I think I'm like finally going to be maybe starting my period soon, like with like it's been
Yeah.
like what 15 weeks, like 3 months post.
Mhm.
So I think I'm experiencing the symptoms of
and that can cause
and
a lot of back
so
pain, low back
yeah,
pain.
and it's
Mhm.
like so I'm just dealing with a lot of
Feeling.
abdominal and like back pain on top of all the hip tightness pain I was having
Mhm.
previously. So my whole lower area is just not happy right now. And
Yeah. Did you try
Like-
rolling out like in a sauna where it's like a
no,
hot
I
room-ish?
just did a hot Epsom salt bath and then stretched and rolled out
Oh, okay,
after.
okay.
I did that.
Mhm. You did inspire me.
do
Every leg
sauna.
day this week, I have stretched.
Oh,
Yeah?
I'm
good
like,
job.
I should be better about this.
Yeah,
just
I stretch.
because of
I stretch
everything.
after every workout.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just
Yeah,
I don't know.
okay.
I kept hearing about how like just stretching and releasing the muscle
Yeah.
and like relaxing it is just it helps muscle growth, and
Mhm.
like when even stretching it actually can help break down muscle and then repair it so that and helps with growing muscle. I'm explaining this terribly, but yeah, so I got really super into stretching because I'm
Mhm.
like, hey, whatever I need to do to stretch my glutes to
Yeah.
like build my glutes.
Yeah.
Did they have
so
a stretching part in that glute lab? I didn't see in
Ooh,
that
we should
book. Was
look.
there a
no, I
stretching
don't
part?
know.
I have to
Ooh.
look for that because I'm
I
like,
don't feel
I
like
stretch, but I'm like, I don't know if these are the stretches. Like,
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like
right.
the best ones. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I do a lot of like glute and hip and low back stretching and
Mhm.
like adductors and
Because Lauren, you do a lot of
hamstring.
more active stretching, right?
Yeah.
Or like more.
For my upper body, because I've had a lot of like, I worked with a physical therapist on my shoulder, and she gave me a lot of exercises that does some stretching for my shoulder, and that helped immensely. Like I was having pain here, and we figured out that it's like actually subscapular. And that's a really hard spot to like stretch. And so she gave me like exercises with stretches. And so we do like a little back and forth. And it was so helpful.
I vote for a stretching episode.
Stretching episode. You know what's really funny? I hate lifting upper body, right?
Yeah.
I also hate stretching my upper body. Yeah. It's like boring and stupid to
I think
me.
most people don't stretch their upper body at all.
Yeah, I do, but I hate it. If it has to do with my glutes, I will do it. Yeah. If it's upper body related, I'm like, meh. I don't want to do it.
Yeah, I'm the same.
I feel like I always skipped upper body stretching until I had my shoulder issues.
Yeah.
And now I do it just preventative because I don't want it to come back because it literally stopped me from lifting shoulders for like months.
Oh, yeah.
Like I couldn't press.
Okay. Yeah. I'll be an adult. I'll do my things.
Yeah. I was like, I'm going to be responsible here because this is too important to me.
Athlete.
Yeah. And so I think like maybe even I probably need to look at some of my glute stretching and stuff like that just as important because I do stretches, but I feel like I don't foam roll.
Yeah, I roll out. I actually roll out before I lift. I don't go like deep hard but I do kind of go just to like release and relax the muscle, so that way it's like it's released to be able for blood flow to go through when you're lifting. So I like how I feel when I lift if I roll out the muscle group before I go lift, and then I stretch after. So I stretch after, roll before. And then at home, like if I'm winding down for the night, I'll do more rolling, deep tissue rolling.
I moved
with like not a foam roller. I use like a lacrosse ball, softball, or what do they call shot put? Those shot put ball. Those like anything super hard that can like get into the not spots. Foam roller.
I'm really bad at inflicting pain on myself. I literally will do it once and I'm like and then I just stop.
Like done.
Yeah, that hurts. Not doing it again.
Yeah, those that pointy thing for your hips. What's that thing? What's it called again?
Psoas?
Yes, the psoas
releaser.
Oh my god.
That's what you need.
That is
the psoas releasing. That is, I want to throw up.
Yeah.
Like it's
I
bad.
I literally lie down. I've used it twice. I just can't. I don't know. I can't do it.
I moved my foam roller, my yoga wheel, my massage gun, my little lacrosse ball, all of that to my living room because I had this like grand plan that like I would do that while I watch like Netflix at night.
Yeah.
And I like sit on the couch all cozied up with my creamy and I just like look at them. And
yeah,
like,
exactly. Right.
Because it's like work and you're like, I just want to relax.
I'm like, I'm so cozy.
Yeah. Exactly. I've totally had that same thought about things.
But I moved them all out there. And he's like,
step one.
Do these belong here now? And I'm like, yeah, they just belong there because I have intentions.
Like, I should do that. I should do this.
I have like a little warm up thing, like a heating pad. And so usually I'll use the heating pad, then a little bit of massage gun, and then I go to the other things. But what
your
actually happens is I use the heating pad.
Get all comfy?
And then I'm done.
Then I'm done.
That's
at least your muscles are warm.
I'm like, you know what? It does feel better.
So real talk on the podcast, us all admitting.
Right? I should be better. I know I should be better.
We should be. Goodness. I mean, because we preach it too when we talk to like even like our posing clients, like, we send them the core and mobility guide. And I'm like, do your mobility exercises. And then I'm like, me too.
Right?
I'm like in my head, I'm like, oh God, I gotta remember to do that too. Yeah. But like, I mean, I feel like I'll get like in a phase where I can do it for a little while very well. It's just something I think that's a goal. Like I would like to be more consistent.
It's
all
hard,
the time.
Though. There's only so much time in a day.
I know. I
Seriously.
just want to bring my massage therapist home. That's what I want.
Your husband?
Yeah. No, Zach. No, I don't know what it is, but like there's an art to I don't know what he does, but it hurts instantly.
You're like,
instantly.
no.
I'm like, it's a good idea. I'm like, okay, this will be great. Nope. No, I have to. He's not. No.
I try to convince Anthony to rub my feet or something. He's like, is that enough?
Yeah, exactly.
No,
and then you always feel bad because it's like it's been like 10 seconds.
I hate giving massages, so I understand. Like I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it. I don't know how massage therapists do it. Like I don't like it.
Yeah, and you would think because he's so much stronger. I'm like, how come you can't put as much like force
into it?
Yeah, as like Ginger's insane. Like, in comparison,
she is.
Like, well, they're trained.
Yeah. There's an art to it.
Anyways, how's your prep?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I still have to do an update.
Yes.
So officially, I am just under 2 weeks out. So 13 days out right now. So when this episode comes out, I'll be like a week and a half out. So super exciting. San Antonio Pro.
Round 3.
My third show of the season. We finally, on my last Thursday's check-in, kind of like upped it a bit, and it's like, all right, let's push, which I like, because I think I was talking last episode and being like, I don't feel like I'm really pushing harder now. I feel so backwards to be eating and not doing as much cardio. Well, I put it out in the universe, and here we go. I'm back up to 16 minutes of cardio.
And I felt bad because you came into the gym on Wednesday. I saw her on Wednesday, the day before her check-in, and I'm over there doing my cardio, and I'm like, you know what? I wish on you that you are, because I'm more at 90, so, and she's like 30. I'm like, I think you should come up a bit. I just think so. I felt so bad on Thursday when she said
and
that.
then it happened.
Yeah,
yep,
like
it happened the next morning.
Yeah,
but it's still, he has it marked as low intensity steady state. So I'm not pushing as hard with my heart rate, but I'm still getting a good little sweat and a good little, like, I'm being very intentional still, just I'm not like killing myself. So it's a lot of more movement, blood flow, focused in my cardio. And then food dropped a little bit. And then the crazy thing is, like, I feel like you adapt so well to like where your calories are. Cause like right now, 120 carbs feels like when I was on 70 carbs. I am hungry.
Your body enjoyed those,
because it's been dropped, and so it's like, oh, well, now I'm hungry again. But it's all good. I actually really kind of prefer a little bit of a grind. Like, I feel like I'm in a really good spot. I actually checked in again this morning, and coach is really happy with my shape. Still trying to like just make sure that I am fine tuning my posing. So posing every day and sticking to the plan. I was feeling like I was getting a little watery with like some of my digestion last week. Not bad or anything, no bloating, but like, so I did reduce my vegetables quite a bit, and I'm kind of now at 2 weeks out. I typically like to go into like what I call my peaking foods. So I like simplify things a little bit more, not a little bit lower volume things, like, and a little bit lower fiber things, like things that are going to digest quick. Sometimes that makes you hungrier. So that's like why we choose those other foods for like satiation. But like at this point when I'm like 2 weeks out, I mean, some people do 10 days or just during peak week, but like, I don't know, call me crazy. I usually do it around 2 weeks out. I like to simplify like everything in line, so then I can really pick out which things feel good on my stomach, which things don't, and I can have time to make a couple swaps this week, so then during peak week it's like perfect.
And it's nice when you bring down like the how many various foods you're eating, because then when you're packing for there's like I feel like I get down to like 3 to 5.
Yeah, less ingredients is just easier to mentally handle.
Yeah, 3 to 5 things that that's all I've been eating. And then when you think about it, it's like, that's weird, but
it is.
I mean, it is what it is.
Like even for today, like I literally just, it was so easy to pack. So I was like, well, I guess I got some rice cakes,
it's just
some
nice
chicken,
some chickens. Yeah.
Except I've been putting a banana on top of my rice cakes. And I packed a scale so I could measure how much of my banana. I packed a knife so I could slice it all. I packed my little, I've been doing a little bit of the feast mode cinnamon honey butter seasoning on top.
Good. Yum.
I tasted it today and it's really good.
So good.
Yeah, I put it on top.
So good. If you haven't tried that, it's really good.
So good.
But I packed all of it up in my bag, and I like got all the way to the posing studio. We did a mock show day with performance posing today, and I get all the way there, almost there, and I'm like,
forgot the banana.
I don't even have a banana to cut up or weigh or anything.
You forgot your banana?
Yeah, I ran to the gas station though, because like Jackson's
easy.
always has them.
Yeah.
And the lady's like, 41 cents, please. And I was like, I look in my wallet and I was like, well, I'm not gonna use my credit card for 41 cents. And I pulled out a $20 bill and looked at her, and she's like, you're good.
That's
free banana.
That's funny. I get embarrassed. I like just add stuff because I just don't want to just have one thing. I just get embarrassed.
I almost did, but like Cody brought me a really good energy. He brought me an energy drink I wanted to try, the Grape Ghost, which was really good, by the way. It's a yes for me. And then I already had a coffee from Starbucks this morning. I already had a big water. I already had like a little like other drink. I was like, I have so many drinks. I'm not gonna spend more money on a drink.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Usually
it's just a prep thing. Like even like I like the McDonald's Diet Coke. And if I go there and just order Diet Coke, they're like, that's it. And for some reason, it just sounds very judgmental to me.
I know. I do feel weird just getting a Diet
I'm like,
Coke.
no, and then I like try and get something for Zach or something. I don't know, but I just feel like, oh, am I like wasting your time? I don't know.
For this Diet Coke.
You're good. But yeah, that's kind of basically my update as we're pushing again, being 2 weeks out. So just a little food drop, cardio increase.
Woohoo!
But you're eating like more going into the show and like doing less cardio, right? So like your body's in a good spot.
Yeah, because 2 weeks out from Texas Pro, which was my first show of the season, we were at 70 carbs and 75 minutes of cardio miss. So like higher intensity, like good heart rate. And now we're at 120 carbs and 60 minutes low intensity. Nice. So it's a little different. My body, like, I think looks a little more like rested and recovered and a little fuller actually in my pictures. And my weight did go down finally a little bit. Which I had a question for you guys. This is kind of maybe a debate. Stage weight. So when I wake up fasted on my show day mornings is significantly different than the weight that I leave the hotel room to go to the stage. So what do you count as your stage weight? Because I woke up at 119 pounds, right, on show day. And then when I left to go to the stage after my couple meals, I was 121.7. So what?
I think there's two different things. I go based off two different things. I go prep low and I go stage weight. I think there are two different things. So my prep low, this last prep was 120.5. My stage weight was like 122. And so I think they're two different things. So that way we know, okay, we have to get you this lean. This is kind of around the number where we liked your physique, but to fill you out means you're probably going to be up here. Like, this is data. So I think there's prep low and stage weight.
I agree with exactly that. Yeah, because when you're on stage, I think I'm always 2 to 3 pounds heavier than what I actually grinded down to.
Yeah, which is what I was thinking about. And I was like, a lot of people are like, oh, I'm 3 pounds up from stage weight. And I was like, okay, if I'm 3 pounds up from stage weight, that's still putting me like 6 pounds above my prep low.
That's why
so am I 3 pounds up or 6 pounds up?
That's why this reverse, I called it prep low. I said like 8 pounds up from my prep low because I was like, it's not stage weight, it's prep low. And that's the number I'm going based off of, because stage weight is just an inflated number from water, sodium, and carbs, and so it's not the true leanness.
So I was like, what do people put when they post that they're this many pounds up? Which weight are they going up from?
I go stage weight only because for my mental confidence, I'm like, no, I don't like this number better.
So yeah, I was curious what other people did. So do you go from your stage weight or your prep low weight?
Yeah, because you don't really know you do. But like, I guess, if you bring your scale right before you go on stage, but I don't bring a scale when I go. Yeah. So I really am more eyeballing.
The last time I weigh myself is right before I leave the Airbnb. Like, but then you're usually still eating some and like drinking. Like I have to drink a lot of water.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah. And Shane doesn't even have me weigh myself on show day.
Oh, really?
So I just know my low.
Yeah.
I know my low, and then I usually, I'm usually, if there's a scale there, but he doesn't really require, he doesn't ask me. He just asks me for photos and how I look and then sees me in person.
All right. So I guess that brings us kind of to our topic today of chasing that pro card. The elusive pro card. So in the NPC, I guess we should kind of give some context to maybe some of our beginners. Getting your pro card is a lot of times like one of the big goals that it's a big goal that a lot of amateurs have.
Yeah, are striving for. Or that you hear talked about a lot, or that,
Yeah, and it's a big goal.
When did you win your pro card?
In 2021 at Olympia Amateur.
Okay, yeah, I was 2023. So we're kind of all in different parts, which is kind of cool to kind of like look back on.
And then Kaylia is still climbing towards hers.
Trying.
She has been one spot off multiple times now this last year.
Next year's the year. Next year's the year.
So close. So close.
And so I think today, like, we wanted to just talk about kind of like, what does it mean to get your pro card, and kind of like, you know, why someone would want to get it and things like that.
Yeah, I think we probably all each have different maybe reasons why we wanted that pro card, or why we want it. or wanted it, why that was one of our goals, and then for you two, like, what does it mean having it? Like, what did that, what
do you
was
want to talk about when they give out pro cards, just so that
how it all works,
like how
I
it
guess,
works,
real
like,
quick. Yeah.
So they don't give them out at regionals, and tell me if I'm wrong, because I might say this wrong. I think it's top 2 that then get qualified for nationals.
Yes, yeah, top 2 at
overall, right?
In open classes.
In open classes. Okay,
open
so yeah,
class.
so top 2. So there's no pro cards at a regional level.
No.
Right. So then if you get first or second and then qualify for nationals, then I want to say most national shows are first in your class, and then there's a couple that are first and second in your class,
and there are a few also
where
3
it's 4 overall.
Yeah, either just the overall, top 2 in the overall, top 3, or top 4. There's multiple of that too. So there's a few different ways to get it depending on like the level of national show. Or like,
it usually kind of goes like this, like the start of the year, like because the shows I did were Arnold and Junior USA.
Yeah.
So you had to be top 2 in the overall at Arnold, top 4 at Junior USA's. Then it goes, then Junior Nats is first place, and then what's after that? USA's?
Junior USA.
No.
Oh yeah, you already did that.
Junior USA, Junior Nats, USA.
Yeah.
Team U, Universe.
Team Universe.
Then USA.
Universe is top 2.
Yeah.
And then USA's is top 2. No, 1, 2.
USA's is top 2.
2.
USA's top 2, and then North Americans is top
1.
Top 1. And then Nationals is 2.
Yeah.
So
and there's Olympia Amateur that I did is top 3 in the overall. But there are also some international shows like the one in Toronto, and I think Vancouver, and some in other countries where it's the one overall winner as well.
Yep. Yeah.
So there's a few different ways, but
so I think when I was going for it, I started with the Arnold, but I really did focus on the competitions that were top 2 in your class, just because I think I skipped Junior Nats. I can't remember which one I skipped. But I know that in previous years, like even the year before that, 2021, I really did stick to the ones that were that I had more of a chance.
Yeah, and you can argue that like sometimes those shows are more competitive when there's top 2 because people feel that way. They feel like they have more of a chance.
Yeah.
And so maybe
that's kind of my strategy. I'm the opposite strategy.
Yeah.
Some of the earlier shows are shows where
they're smaller,
less pro
competitive,
less people show up.
When you say less competitive, it's just like there's less people, and a lot of people aren't prepping through the holidays and the winter months, and so those shows are smaller, and so when there's less people, it's just gonna be some less quality, and so you pick your strategy, like you pick which one, and like I think for someone like you, Steph, who's got really good like muscle density and shape, like. You have picking shows that were top 2 is like you're more than likely going to be in this like top 2 to 3, right?
And Arnold, I kind of did what you did, where I thought like earlier in the year I would have more of a chance. Is it top? Is it just one pro card?
2.
Top 2.
Top 2 in the overall.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
So you have to win your class and then get top 2 in the overall.
That's right. Yeah. I think. Oh, I know what it was. I got second in my class because that damn Rhoda.
Yep. You had a Rhoda show up. Sometimes that happens. You gotta. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. My bestie twin. But no, we became good friends after. But yeah, it's just different. I think. Choosing that strategy, and I think it's really helpful to lean on your coach in terms of what they think would be a good plan. Yeah, coaches have good plans because you're not going to do all the national shows from March all the way till December. You're going to take breaks, that kind of thing. So just, and then life too. So just making sure that you're being as strategic and talking to your coach about it.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people have different whys on getting their pro card. Like some people really want to compete as a pro. Some people have maybe done really well on the regional level, and that's just the next successive step. Like, oh, I won an overall, so what's next for me? What's the next stepping stone? Like, where do I go from here? I think that's the most common kind of stepping stone is like once you've like won your class at a regional show, it's like, oh, well, where do you go from here? Because I've accomplished that goal of winning my class. And I think that's a lot of times why people pick a pro card as a goal. And it's a very competitive goal. So if maybe your local regional shows are very small, so it's like kind of more exciting to compete on a bigger stage with like national level athletes. I don't know.
I think like I have kind of like two reasons. So for me, originally, I just think if we look at what a pro card is and how and what it looks like to get one, it's really hard to do. It's really hard to achieve. Mm-hmm. And I think that is just, I think to have something that you're working towards that's really hard is is just something like good to have in your life. It builds like just skills and character, and it just builds mental toughness, and it just, that isn't just for bodybuilding. It applies to other things in your life. Absolutely. Relationships, professional careers, like it just teaches you and shows you, like taps into like just different parts of you as a person that you're like, whoa, I can do this. Yeah. Like I can. And so for me, I love the journey of trying to achieve this pro card. And I focus on like the journey because I know a pro card is so rare and hard to get. It may not happen, but at least like I guess I want to say like I love the person that like I've become and I'm becoming in that chase to the pro card. If that kind of makes sense. No, it absolutely makes sense. That's kind of like I would say a why for me is just I love having this hard thing that's just, and if I get it, oh my God, how cool is that like I spent the last several years, I didn't give up, I kept learning, I kept chipping away, like that stuff. That part of it is just what I love. I like having that hard thing to try to like chase after. And it just happened to be bodybuilding and a pro card, but it could have been something else, but it just happened to be this.
Yeah, it helps keep you grounded as an athlete, you know? Yeah. Because after every show, like, yes, there's a little bit of disappointment, but it wasn't like seeing you after every show. It wasn't like this, oh my God, you know, like this, like, you know, in bed for a week, or I don't know, like nothing crazy like that. It was just kind of like you were able to then focus on the feedback because again, it's the journey. It's what you, you know,
okay, what do I got to do?
Yeah. Like, what's the next step?
I'm just going to keep showing up and doing it until I either get it or it's just time to do other things, you know?
Yeah.
And then I would say another thing is now with my business, it's definitely become, you know, it started out and it still is like, I like that first thing I just mentioned. That's like the number one. But then now with my business, with posing coaching, like it does help the resume, and it does allow me then to compete on a pro stage and get that experience, you know, posing with posing, like on a pro stage, longer routines, having to pose competitively next to other professionals. Like it's just the experience that
the prestige of the title.
Yeah.
To go with your business that you're already building.
Yeah. And so I look at it more like that's really like now why I'm chasing it too is I want that next level to get that next level experience.
Yeah.
So that's mine.
I agree.
I really like that. And I think, you know, along the lines of like appreciating the journey is, I think a lot of people get so fixated on that goal that they really rush the goal and they don't realize that it's okay for it to take a while. Like there's so many cool experiences to be had. And when it's your time, it's your time. Like even like North Americans was this last weekend, and you know I was messaging someone and they were like, oh yep, no pro card today, and I was like, but it's only your second time attempting this, like that's so cool, you got first call outs, like celebrate that. Is really cool. And I posted on my story, and actually I had a lot of people respond and say it was inspiring. I did North Americans 3 years in a row, and I did not get my pro card at any of them.
I was just about to look to see how many times I attempted my pro card. I want to say like 9, I think, but I want to look at my phone.
Yeah. So I did 2019 North Americans, and I was my first national show, and I last call outs, no placing, but it was such a cool experience. You know, like I went to Pittsburgh with my mom, and we got to travel together, and I got to go backstage, and like I think I like hit another like fire of like inspiration and like wanting to do this, because I was finally surrounded by other people who had the same goal as me. They were also winners. They were also some people who had like wanted this, and so it was like really cool. And I'm like, okay, now that I've like been backstage with them, I do know I want to continue and go with this. So it was like really cool, and I connected with people that I'd met online. And then in 2020 I did really well at North Americans. I got 3rd place. I was 2 spots from my pro card, and that was just like, I think that was the first time that I felt like I could put it out into the universe that I wanted to become a pro. I think before that, I actually didn't have the confidence to like verbally put it out or put it on social media or tell people, yes, I want to be an IFBB pro. Like I didn't have the confidence for that before. And so getting close, I was like, oh, I can do this. Yeah. And I made it like my goal. I put it on a little letterboard. I like got excited. And then later that season, I went to Universe and I got third call outs. Like I was third place to third call outs in the same season, next show. But I didn't give up the very next week because that was a weird year. Universe was in November and so was Nationals. It was like, they were back to back. It was 2020 was a weird year.
I think I did that show too in Universe.
Yeah. The lighting was awful there.
Oh yeah.
It was horrible.
It was like I was purple.
It was
on
weird.
Stage. I don't know. It was the weirdest thing.
I pushed that week in between and I got 6th at Nationals. So, it re-validated that I was not failing. So I just didn't give up and I just kept going. And then 2021, I came back to North Americans again and I got first call outs, but I got 7th. I wasn't close to getting my pro card. But I literally got my pro card a few weeks later at Olympia Amateur, and arguably a harder show. Like North Americans maybe had more girls overall because there's a lot of masters that double enter into classes. But at Olympia Amateur, it had to be top 3 in the overall. But I still just went for it, because I like knew that I had that goal and I just kept going. But I am grateful for every single one of those shows because there was an experience with each one. And I've talked to people who maybe turned pro at their first national show and they're like, oh, dang it, I didn't even get to go to USA's. Oh, dang it, I didn't even get to go do this other show.
Yeah.
And
I think there's pros and cons to both because seeing someone rise really quickly, like one that sticks out to me would be like Daraja, where it was just like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
It's so exciting and it's so cool to watch. And it's, I think the best word would be exciting, like it's just kind of.
It is.
But I've also, like you have heard from those people that have kind of done it in one shot and they wish sometimes like that they had stayed in the national circuit for a little longer just for the experience and for the journey and that sort of thing. So I think there's pros and cons to both. But when I was chasing my pro card, I kind of had a weird why. Like my why was because I was constantly told that I would be competitive as a pro because of my muscle density. But I was also like, depending on who I was standing against, it didn't necessarily mean that I was placing top 5 or getting first call outs each time. Like I was 12th at nationals one year and, so I really wanted to see, to be playing in the same ring, if that makes sense. Like I wanted to see my denser physique up against denser physiques.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted to get to that level just to see.
To be able to see.
Yeah. So that was
where you
my
might
kind of
fit better.
Yeah, because when I was, I think 2018, even then, like I hadn't put on a huge amount of muscle density, but I think it's just the muscle. I guess they called it muscle maturity. That's what it really was. So that was my like weird kind of why or like different why, I guess. But no, I think the journey is super, super important for sure.
Well, I think it's important to note that like from like kind of your story and you said you've done multiple like 9 or something like
8.
that. 8.
Yeah. I did 6.
That it probably is. It's rare to go into your first or second national show and walk away with pro card. Like to know that like you typically are going to have to kind of fight for it. Like the only like 1 to 2 pro cards are handed out per class at a show, and think about how many girls are registered. Like it's just gonna take some time. It's gonna take the fight. It's gonna take working, getting your feedback, working on the improvements, and just still show up. Put a smile on your face and like you said, enjoy the journey, focus on the journey, and then one day your time will come. It'll be your show. Like,
and I think judges like to see that too.
The growth and the progression.
Yeah, they like to see that because I don't think like I'm not going to say that it influences their judging, but they do like to see you kind of progress and work on the feedback and come back. And I know I've been they've talked to me about that. So
like rewarding your execution. And I really think like too. Oh, I just like forgot what I was gonna say. Can I blame prep brain?
Yes, you can absolutely.
I had a thought fully formed, and then it just like disappeared right when I went to talk. I was like, yeah.
And
I have some facts facts about you for you.
What?
Yeah.
NPC and IFBB Pro League in 2005, there were 4 pro divisions and 17 pro contests. Now in 2024, there's 11 divisions and 165 pro contests.
Wow, that's grown.
Wow. Yeah, it's really cool to see the sport as a whole like grow and evolve and change. And, yeah. Oh, I remember what I was gonna say. I was gonna say sometimes this isn't always the case, but sometimes even outside of bodybuilding, but like when you work hard for something and it takes more grind and effort to really achieve it, when you finally do, the win is almost sweeter because you appreciate it more because you know you earned it. It wasn't just something like, whoa, did that happen? Like, and you don't even realize what you got. Does that make sense? Like, I think sometimes there's a really deep appreciation from the people who've had to really, really work for it and grind because they've gone through the learning and the experience and the misses and the having to change and grow and adapt and fight, you know, and then when they finally achieve it, it's like a huge reward and a huge achievement versus kind of just like what's a pro card? Oh, I'm a pro. You know, like that. I mean, not that happens, but like I mean, there's people who get them very quickly, and I don't know if they have the same amount of like I feel like, you know, all of us like have had to go through many pro shows to get our pro card, and like even you're still on that journey. Like, I feel like when you get your pro card, you're gonna be like,
I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Finally,
I might lose my mind.
You're gonna eat a cake donut. That's what I know.
I'm gonna eat a cake donut. But like in the moment, I've like thought about it. I'm like in the moment on stage, like, what is my reaction gonna be?
I had anxiety about that. I'm not going to lie. I'm like, because there's so many good pictures of people just having these like great emotional moments. And I'm like practicing. I'm like, am I going to be like, ooh, or what am I going to do with my hands?
Yeah. What am I going to do with my hands, my face? Am I like, what am I going to do? I'm not like a big emotional person, but for moments like that brings it out of me. So maybe I will be emotional. I think I honestly think I'll be emotional. I think I'll cry like a baby, actually. I think I know exactly what we'll do.
I have a picture of you in 2019 when you got your first regional win.
First place.
And you're literally like almost like kneeled down on, not quite onto your knees, but you like squatted down on the stage with your hands up and you're like,
Oh, I do. I remember this.
I have the picture because someone was taking a picture of me and she's right next to me beating me. They called my name for second place. And she's like calling my name for second.
You will definitely be emotional.
I'll be emotional then. We know exactly how I will react.
She was so hyped.
I'll remake that picture.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I know I like see people like crying in these pictures and I'm like, I'm not a crier on stage. I don't know.
I think I'll be in so much shock. I don't know. Actually, I have no idea.
I was just scared of the shock because the shock could look very
So here's what
different.
because I think for me, and this is like not probably people will be like, don't think that way. But for me, I do think like, I just don't think, this sounds so bad, but I just like don't think it will like happen. I don't know. I just have this like, it's like I'm someone though that goes in with the mindset of like, I'd rather be surprised. I go in with like, it's not going to happen. It's not my day. It's just not in the cards for me. Pro cards on the cards for me.
Yeah.
But like, and then I'd rather be shocked and surprised.
Yeah.
So I do definitely go into like all my shows focusing more on like, honestly now I just focus on like, let's have good posing. I need good videos. I need good pictures. I need
just bringing your best,
bringing my best.
Yeah.
And then if a pro card has happened, then I'm going to wing my reaction then.
Yeah.
But like, you know, anyway.
We'll let it happen organically.
Yeah.
No,
I just,
you don't want it to be
I don't think about
fake.
it actually too much like anymore. Like
you don't want it to be fake, you know, like something like that you pre-planned.
I'm just like doing all the things, checking all my boxes.
I almost went there because I had the more nightmares about them saying like, oh yeah, you won, and me just being like, just like because that would happen.
Me?
I'm a deer in the ask Cody. Awkward moments with Steph, 100%. Okay, just like okay.
What do I do now?
You know,
What do
or
you
like
want me to
just
do?
not hearing my name called and just standing there. You know, I don't know. So yeah, no.
Funny.
That's funny.
Well, here's one too. So once I got my pro card, I felt like people who are outside of the industry mostly asked this, but they'd be like, oh, so is that your full-time job?
Do you get paid now? How much do you
Yeah, how much do you make?
That's right.
And I think it's a little deceiving about being a professional athlete in bodybuilding is not the same as a professional athlete like in the NBA.
No.
So
wish.
we pay
It's
a
still
lot
an
of
expensive
money
hobby.
to be a pro.
Yeah.
And the only money is probably from like more like sponsorships potentially, but you don't just get them. They don't just come rushing into you. I feel like it's, and this might be weird to say, but this might be like nothing changes.
Yeah, literally nothing changes.
I got a few more followers on Instagram that day. I think I got like some of my #1 liked posts or something like that. And it was kind of, and it was really exciting for me and I felt accomplished. But like your day-to-day life, it's the same meal plan. It's the same posing, you can add a routine, but it's the same, my workout, same gym, same home everything. To come home to, same family. Don't forget, you have to come home to that same family. So don't sacrifice them for winning this, because when you win it, you want them to be there when you come back. Like, you know, it's like a big deal because like you literally it's just another win or achievement. It's not like a huge, like you're not signing this life contract that you're like, all of a sudden going to be a millionaire or something weird. Like, just to be realistic about the pro card, like not to take away any of the excitement of getting it or like anyone's motivation to get it, but just to be realistic, like having a deeper why, you know, to like have this pro card, I think is really important because it's not some magical thing that happens when you get it. You actually become a small fish in a big pond again, and the stage becomes harder because when you're on that national run, you're used to being like in the first call outs, you're used to being in the top, and you're used to being in the winning the overalls at your regional show. And when you get that pro card and you go to the pro stage, no one knows who you are anymore unless, I mean, there's a few people who like maybe who win the overall at a national show or something and come out strong, but that's the 1% of the 1% getting their pro card. So just as a reminder, like, you know, it's like enjoy doing really well in the NPC, and when you get to the IFBB, you almost start over, you know? And so just keep that realistic mindset in place too, as you move through that. Yeah,
because your pro debut, I think, is I had a little bit of anxiety kind of going into it because my biggest thing is I didn't want to look like an amateur amongst the pros. I didn't want to, and you kind of feel like a little bit, I can't remember the word for it right now.
The imposter syndrome.
Yeah, I felt a lot of imposter syndrome, just going and, you know, because I mean, my pro debut was with Ashley Kay, and I'm like, I cannot believe
but you got what,
here.
4th?
Yeah. No, I was really happy, but even just being backstage, I'm like, I'm supposed to be pumping up, and I'm just like looking at her, and I'm like, oh wow, you know what I mean? And then they're, you know, yeah, exactly. And so, I think a lot of it is just having fun with your pro debut. I know I made it into a family vacation, so my whole family came, and they hadn't seen me compete since I was doing regional shows, and so that made it exciting.
That's cool.
And so that kind of made it more of like a core memory than whatever my placing was. It just happened to be really good. I was happy.
2 good experiences.
You got both. You got both out of that.
Yeah.
I think it's just important to focus on the journey and the experience, no matter which level you're at, NPC, IFBB, all of it, because this is a hobby and something that we just choose and love to do, and
we were talking earlier before we started the podcast, and we were talking about how like the pro card doesn't have to be your goal though.
Absolutely.
You were kind of saying.
Because I've been, you know, we work with a variety of different athletes, especially as posing coaches and even you as a coach. And it doesn't have to be your goal. Like, I think there's so much attention on social media and stuff of like road to pro card chasing, all this, that sometimes people feel like they're like, am I ready for a national show? And I'm like, you don't have to be. Like, have a different goal. Like maybe some people, like maybe it's a transformation just to get onto stage. Like that right there is the win, just getting to stage. Maybe it's a big weight loss thing. Or maybe even like you're a very busy mom and this is just a fun way that you stay in shape. And your goal is to win the overall at the local show in front of your kids and show them that you can do this. Like that is an amazing and inspirational thing.
Absolutely.
And so you don't have to push past that if you don't want to. Like,
I've had clients that came to me and they were like all throughout their schooling and stuff like that as a young adult or teenager, they like performed. They did dance, or they did gymnastics, or they did stuff where they were performing on stage. And I've had this a couple times in the past couple years, but they're even younger girls that just like, I just want something, like, I love being on stage. I like performing. It's just what I grew up doing. And now that they're older and adults, and like, it's just a hobby for them to like still have that skill that they had when they were younger. And so they don't really actually care to get a pro card. They just do it for like, they like performing. I was like, oh, I never thought, because a lot of people are terrified by the performing. And so it was really weird to hear that, like, or interesting to hear like, oh, you're just carrying over like an activity you did, like a hobby or a sport you did, into adulthood. And it's just something, so everyone can have different reasons. And
regional shows are more affordable. Your family can come and support you and see you, and you can all go out to dinner together and celebrate. Because sometimes national shows, when you're going back to back and you're having to save money and push the budget, like, you go alone or maybe with just your partner, and like, you win, and like, what do you're by yourself, or you know what I mean?
Some people,
like, it's fun to win an overall and have all your family and your friends and your coworkers, and
there's
do a big
more
thing.
Regional shows too. There's more to pick from. There's like 5, 6 national shows a year, 7 maybe.
Maybe 7. 399
regional shows.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, that's what you were gonna say. Some people though, like, they don't want to like achieve the muscularity or the or the conditioning that it takes to get to the pro level, to get that pro card. Especially as a female, some people just don't, and that's okay. Like, so, but you may still want to compete at and get on stage and do do prep, like do the lifestyle, and like and so that's okay too. You may,
and at the regional level there are smaller regional shows and bigger regional shows, so that could be a distinction that you make, and you go to do a bigger regional show. Like I'm trying to think, like, there's like, I guess regional shows that are attached to pro shows are usually a little bit.
Yeah, and there's other goals too. Like, you can have a goal to win your class. You can have your goal to get an overall. And even in the Northwest, like, they implemented a award called the Triple Crown, which is like someone who wins the most certain points of winning classes throughout the shows regionally, like through Oregon, Washington, Idaho. And so there's like levels of it before you even just jump to your pro card. Jumping into your going into your pro debut. I did a very similar thing where I went straight to a pro debut to just kind of see if where I even stacked up, because now that you've been in line with all these other national level athletes, it's like, okay, what's my feedback on the pro stage? So I chose to do a pro debut right away too. I think I didn't wait as long. You did like a little mini reverse off season.
I was dying. I had been up since like, I think the last summer. Like, I think it had just been just over a year.
Yeah, yours was long. So but you kind of went like a little reverse and then prepped again.
And I had a family vacation also in
Toronto. True. You planned it for that timing. I did mine like 3 or 4 weeks later. So I felt like my stage shots, I looked exactly the same, like I didn't really change much or anything. So I kind of had my like pro card winning amateur look on the pro stage. But I still got top 10, at my pro debut at Legion, which was it's a big show.
Yeah. Awesome.
But I think for me, it was kind of like, I just really wanted to get compared to other pros before I went into an off season, because I really wanted to be like, what's the feedback? What do I need to bring to a pro stage? And so that's why we did a pro debut right away, instead of like jumping straight into an improvement season and then like having a big build up to the debut. Because that's the other way to do it. I think some people like want to like make a ton of improvements and then like hit the ground like with this like earth-shattering pro debut, and I think that's a little overrated. I don't know.
My brain just couldn't understand what you would be improving on.
That's my thought process.
Yeah, you need I need the feedback first, or like even see what I look like amongst
because even
other
pictures,
pros.
like it doesn't do it justice at all. And so I like, no matter what, I just wanted to know my actual feedback, like not actual, I guess, like concrete feedback against pros, so that my improvement season was like worth like every second, and everything I was doing was towards getting better on the pro stage.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the reason I did my pro debut so fast too.
And judges usually tell you, I mean, the judges told me right afterwards that that's what they would do.
Yeah,
so
they did not tell me.
I think that's what I would, if I got a pro card, even that's immediately what I would do. I would just go, like, not with the mindset of winning a pro show or even placing in first callouts or second. I just want to get documented picture, video, me next to pros. What do I look like? Documented feedback and talk to the judges, and then plan out my improvement season.
Yeah, because it could be short, it could be long, it could be like,
you have no idea unless
For me, it was taking out shoulders. Like, I would never have known that I shouldn't be working shoulders.
Yeah.
So. And you have like that density too, so they really want. That's why you're why of even wanting to be amongst pros. So it's like you're like, okay, so is this real? Like, tell me how it really looks.
Yeah, exactly.
I got there. Let me see it.
Yeah, I think after winning my pro card, the most daunting thing for me about getting on the pro stage was the extra seconds of posing, because I was so used to going, and I did want to have like this like amazing routine, but at the same time I wasn't as much of, and I'm not as much of a performer, and so I'm like, oh my goodness, another like 30 seconds. Like, what am I gonna do?
That was scary for me too. That was hard for me.
Yeah.
I know for you're like, I can't wait.
Yeah.
Can't wait to dance around.
Yeah.
Improv that whole thing.
Now I like it a little more than I did, I think, when I first was like anxious about transition.
It'll probably freak me out. I'm not even gonna lie. That would probably really. I'm like, oh my god, I can actually do this.
Yeah.
What do I do now?
Yeah, exactly. Like,
I'm gonna be like,
time.
I've been doing this like alone in my posting studio all by myself, but now I gotta really do it in real life.
Yeah.
I was like, I only have a few weeks, so this isn't gonna be. This is not this is a rough draft.
Yeah.
But I think what doing that pro debut for me solidified, even though it was a 10th place and like second call outs, I still just like being backstage. I got that same excitement that I was talking about when I went to my first national show. I got this like fire of like, yes, I want to continue as a pro. Now I can set goals as a pro because I'm back here. Yeah. It's real. It's tangible. I love it. I love that they call me by my name. I'm not just a number. Like, this is super cool.
Yeah.
The check-ins were cool. We got pictures and jackets and like, you know, like it was just like experiencing that, like
the next level experience.
Yeah. And it gave me that next, okay, now I can set goals as a pro.
Yeah. And you appreciate it more. I remember my biggest thing is I was like, I'm not backstage for like an hour plus. Like I'm actually going on stage, like, you know, like what I really like that. So like little things like that I was like appreciative of because I had been.
Yeah, because at pro shows they give us a little bit more defined timeline or a little bit better estimations of like when they go on. Like they'll stop an NPC show for the IFBB show to go on.
My makeup was at like between like, you know, 7 to 9 as opposed to like 3 to 5 a.m. You know, that kind of thing. So it's just an appreciation, and you have to do it all to appreciate, you know,
absolutely
the perks, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I guess then like that kind of brings us to like, now that we're pros, like what's next from there, because like we've spent so much of our NPC career having it be the goal is the pro card. So our goal now, I guess like the big pro goal is the Olympia qualification.
Yes.
And I think for a long time I had the same trouble that I had saying I wanted to turn pro. I had a really hard time when I first started being a pro saying that I wanted to qualify for the Olympia, because I was like, who am I? Am I even good enough to do that? And so it took me personally a long time, not even just like having success on the pro stage, but it took me a long time to really envision that was a realistic goal of mine. It is now, and I really feel confident that it is a realistic goal for me now. But it took me a while to come around to that. I'm not someone who just like, when I started out being like, I'm going to be the next Miss Olympia, like that. I just don't have that kind of like, some people are like really confident. Like they know from an amateur that they want to go the whole route. And I wasn't, I like needed to
do it in steps.
Yeah. And I, even as a pro, I really had to break it down to mini goals or smaller goals. Like my first goal was to get a first call out. And then my goal was to get a top 5. And then my goal was to get a top 3. And now I feel like my goal can be to win. Like I had to kind of break it up and climb, because I'm someone who's had to grind for my goal, work for my goal.
Prove it to yourself. That you can.
I'm not a genetic anomaly that's just going to pop out and be like, here I am. So I'm have to like, you know, really put in the time and the effort. And I'm enjoying that journey. I think it's made me a strong athlete, and it's made it some, where I feel like I'm achieving this as if I'm earning it. And it feels really good. So yeah.
I did something similar to you. So I had the mini goals too. Mine was top 10 as a pro, top 5.
You just smashed that right out the gate.
I was, yeah. But you know what? It's funny because I remember how we had that conversation afterwards where I didn't really believe I was a top, like, even though I got it, it didn't sink into me like that I was a top 5 competitor. I don't think it sunk in until Optimum when I placed 4th again.
When you did it again. Yeah.
I remember you saying that to me too, where you're like, now do you believe it?
Yeah.
Because I was still that imposter syndrome where I'm like, oh, maybe, it was Hawaii. There wasn't as many, like I was telling myself these little excuses which were kind of just taking away from it. But I do like setting the mini goals because again, to me, then you're doing it for yourself in another way. I guess it's more internal than external in terms of the placings and things like that. So you feel better about every show that you show up at.
Yeah.
But no, I think I am excited to work towards qualifying for the Olympia. They changed it in the last 3 years or so from points to you have to win a pro show.
Yeah, it used to have a point tiered system, but they'd only take the top 3 and pro show winners.
Right.
And now it's just pro show winners.
Yeah. So you have to, and you know what? It also makes this goal more exciting is that I won my pro card at Universe in 2nd place. And so getting that 1st place is just a little more like sweet. Like I'm like,
you just really want that first place. The win. You want the first place.
Yes, yeah. I do. So it's exciting, and it's definitely delayed gratification for sure. Yeah. A lot of delayed gratification through this journey.
Did you feel like when you first, let's say like we're going into your pro debut, that you set the goal of the next one being like, I want to go to the Olympia? Or did you think that you gave like, you had to have time before that like sunk in and processed before that became your goal?
Definitely time, because again, I was like, oh my God, I have to pose on stage for 45 seconds. I'm like, Stephanie, do not fall. Just do not fall. And so, yeah, it was really just getting through it and seeing where I landed. And I just really wanted to see my physique next to, an Olympian and Olympians and that sort of thing. Because I think there was 3 Olympians, I think. I can't remember. I think it was 3. But I really wanted to see, like, am I really that big? Or, like, do I have to downsize? Like, what do I have to work on? Because, again, you just always want to get back to the gym, and get back to the grind, basically.
Yeah.
And just keep improving. So that was my big thing for sure, is just seeing how I looked, making sure I could pose for that long, keep people entertained, that kind of thing, and just be more of a performer, which I'm still working on.
Same.
I guess the overarching thing is to really just focus on the goals that you set for yourself. Just know that they're individualized and that it's okay to not have the same goal as the person working out next to you. Because even in the gym, honestly, everyone has such different goals. Different goals, right? So I think it's absolutely okay. And I think it's even sweeter when, you achieve what you wanted to achieve as opposed to what the industry says you should want to achieve.
I love that. That's a really good point.
Absolutely. Yeah. Everyone has a different journey, and there are so many levels and paths to take, and whatever you set as your goal, when you go and you achieve that, that's what you should be proud of. Just because someone else went further doesn't diminish from your goal. So set your goals the way that it fits best in what your lifestyle, your balance, the amount of time you want to commit to this, the length of time. Do you want to only do this for a year? Do you want to do this for 5 years? Take a look at it, evaluate your deeper why on like, do you even want to chase that pro card? And if you do, like, don't give up and don't rush the process.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you don't, it's okay.
Yeah. And it's always evolving too. Like you could start with one goal and
change it.
That is totally fine.
Change at any point.
Yeah.
That
is totally fine.
Pivot your priorities and figure out what's best for you. And we'll be here to support your journey.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Thanks, besties.
All right. Bye.
Bye.